What's up, everyone? Tyler DeLuca back here with my takeaways from this past week in the WNBA. And today it's going to be a little bit different because I want to talk about first team All-WNBA because I think I'm ready to set it in stone. I think. There's still plenty of time left in this season, but I do think I have a pretty good feeling for at least 4 of the spots on All-WNBA first team. And let's just go through them a little bit. First off, A'ja Wilson. Duh. I mean, like what A'ja has been able to do this season, especially on the offensive side of the ball, it feels like she just pulls up and you're getting at least 30, and that's at least. I mean, just the feeling of inevitability that comes when you play against A'ja Wilson, and every time she steps on the court that you know she's going to produce on that offensive side of the ball, and with the consistency of both not only statistic production but also being on the court. She hasn't missed a game since 2019. Like, it's incredible, frankly, what we're seeing. Obviously the aces have struggled, and that will be interesting to see when it comes to playoff time. But when it comes to individual performances, A'ja Wilson is clear of everyone. When you're just looking at the pure statistics of it, when you're watching the games, like there's no case you can make when it comes to just pure individual performance, not including standings or anything like that, because I think that gets into different territory when you're looking at like MVP stuff. You know, she would still have my MVP vote. There's just A'ja Wilson has been the best statistical player. I mean, there's arguments that this is the best statistical season that we've seen in the WNBA ever. And that's really just on the offensive side of the ball. We're not even getting into the fact that she's one of the best defenders in the league. So while the defense as a team has struggled at times with switching and whatnot for Las Vegas, A'ja Wilson is still she's the best player in the league. And it feels pretty clear. But the player that has been able to make a case when it comes to MVP, and not necessarily maybe get enough votes to win it, but to stop A'ja Wilson from being a unanimous MVP is Napheesa Collier of the Minnesota Lynx. And I can't say enough when it comes to the level up of this Minnesota Lynx team, and a lot of that has to do with the level up of Napheesa Collier. It just felt like in past years, like especially when you look at last year, for example, where you had the 3-horse race for MVP, A'ja, Stewie, and AT. And Napheesa was just obviously coming back from having a kid and everything, and it felt like she hadn't been able to elevate herself into that tier. It felt like she was like the top of the second tier of superstars in the WNBA, and that is not the case anymore. She is in that top tier of superstars. She has been the second best player in the league this season. She probably should be Defensive Player of the Year this season, and the offensive production and everything has just been fantastic in the way that she just provides such a foundation for this Lynx team to have success on both sides of the ball. Is incredible. Like it really, really is. And I have just been so impressed, frankly. Like, you know, it has just felt like a categorical across the board level up for Napheesa Collier this season, and I'm not surprised to see that it happened because I don't think it's a secret that Napheesa is an incredible player and has been an incredible player, but it's those just extra couple steps that she's been able to take this season, has been able to make those leaps and have the Lynx be probably the hottest team in the league right now. I think the only team that has an argument is a player that you've probably heard about, who I would also have on my WNBA first team, Caitlin Clark. The triple-double, to me, honestly, she already was on my first team. I think her and the next player I'll talk about have been neck and neck as the best guards in the W this season. And the triple-double that she was able to get just kind of sealed the deal. Like I said, I was there already, but it sealed the deal for me that she should be All-WNBA first team. I mean, just what she's been able to do, the longest drought in WNBA history when it comes to missing the playoffs, over. That's secured. The ability to make her teammates better. I mean, Kelsey Mitchell has been phenomenal since the Olympic break, and deserves a lot of credit for that 100%. She's got to make the shot. She's got to do that 100%. But I do think that Caitlin Clark's role it took some time, but this is the easiest the game has looked for Kelsey to me since she's been in the W. I mean, we know the scorer she was in college. Like, she's stamped. She's one of the top scorers of all time. And this has now been the easiest and smoothest her game has looked at really any point I feel like during her WNBA career has been in this post-Olympic break, and it's been on a crescendo throughout this WNBA season. And I think that Caitlin has been able to provide just the gravity that Caitlin has on the court has just been able to make life easier for Kelsey, and it just makes life easier for the entire team. And that's not even into Caitlin's own point production. And I don't think that she's been a minus defender this season either. I think she's not some all defense or anything of that nature, but like I think it felt like the most common worry going into the WNBA for Caitlin was the physicality and the defensive side of the ball. And really, I don't feel like either of those have been genuine worries. I think there's been a lot of think pieces at times where people got physical with Caitlin, but it was never an issue for Caitlin. That like really ever since like the first couple of games, it felt like she struggled a little bit in the initial game against Dejanay Carrington when they matched up, and she picked her up full court and was physical with her, and really past that, it's been relative smooth sailing on that front, and really across the board. Once she got going, she's been great. So she would absolutely be on my All-WNBA first team. The other guard that I want to talk about is Sabrina Ionescu, who has been great this season. Great. Like this feels like the Sabrina that has been hyped up. And not to say that she was bad before, but like this is a Sabrina that is deserving of the hype, and everything, and especially her foot speed and being able to get to the rim. That has been the biggest thing for me this season that has made the biggest difference. And being able to just it was a major flaw in her game on the offensive side of the ball, and I still at times worry about the Liberty, but I mean I think not nearly as much as last season when it comes to postseason, and a lot of that has to do with Sabrina being able to create in different ways now, and I mean the shooting is the shooting. We know what she can do with that, but I've been incredibly impressed with Sabrina this year, and I think that those four players are locks for me when it comes to All-WNBA first team. The last spot is where it gets a little tricky. I think Stewie has a case. I think Kalia Copper has a case. And so I think these last little bits of this season will help decide that. But generally speaking, those four right there I feel very safe in saying that they are going to be on the All-WNBA first team. I mean, all of them. Caitlin, obviously her rookie season, but has taken leaps over the course of this time. The three others have taken leaps from previous seasons into this season, and were already great in their own rights, in their own ways, and now have just gotten better. And I'll be very interested to see how the votes end up coming out. But for now, for me, especially after this week and seeing some of the performances that were put up, I mean, I'm feeling very good about those four being on the All-WNBA first team right now. But let me know down below, who would you fill in for that fifth spot, and I'll see you next time.